What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, Ty's Nuggets. I hope you guys had an awesome week. Things went well for you and you've been shown favor upon your life. So today I'm back with another video and I wrote it down in my phone because I got a few little points that I want to talk about today. So I want to discuss Ciara and her leveling up and everybody asking for her prayer to get Russell Wilson. So at first, I was like, oh, that's a cute joke. Like, everybody wants to know her prayer. So now she came out with the song Level Up, and everybody's like, no, sis, I need the exact words to the prayer. So now I'm like, so y'all still joking, right? Like, it's a joke? You're not for real, like, the exact words. You're not. It's a joke. It got to be a joke. I'm like, come on now, the exact words to a prayer. So that got me to thinking, like, one, if we see someone level up, you go from a Future to a Russell Wilson, like two opposite ends of the spectrum. And you're like, oh, I want to know what she prayed to get him. So my first thoughts are, sis, you don't have a prayer life of your own. And I say that to say, like, you should need someone's exact prayer that they prayed to get the type of man they got. If you don't have a prayer life of your own, like, what is that? So a couple of videos back, I talked about making a list and praying for your spouse, that kind of thing. So you have to have your own prayer life. Her list, her exact prayer is not going to get you Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson's already taken. Could it get you someone like Russell Wilson? Maybe, but just because that worked for her, that doesn't mean that's for you. In the sense of the qualities that she needed and wanted in a man may not be the same qualities you need and want. Yes, he is a superstar. He has money. He can buy her things. Yes, but there's also other things that goes into marriage besides money and buying things. Okay. So keep in mind what she needed and wanted and what he needed and wanted in a spouse is not necessarily what you need or want. So I know it's a joke, at least I hope it's a joke, but like the exact prayers to what she prayed for, like, no, sis, you need to get you a prayer life and pray for the type of man you want. And again, in my previous video, I just talked about praying for God's will instead of having a list. Sometimes we think we know what we need and want, but we really don't. God knows best. So having a list and praying for God's will, and he'll send us that man, that Russell Wilson, but he won't be like him. He will be the man that we need, right? Okay, so let me go to my list because I was trying to stay on track, right? Okay, so and then with your prayer life, you will know because you're not just praying for a spouse. You're praying, number one, I hope, for yourself. You're praying for wisdom. You're praying to be made whole. You're praying to be changed. Because I hear a lot of people say your spouse, completes you. And I'm just like, well, if you're not complete, why would I want somebody that's like half? I want somebody that's already whole and I'm just adding to their wholeness. Not like you have, and then we're going to come together and we're going to complete each other. Because what if something happens to that person? Are you still not complete? You back to being half? Like, no, I'm not trying to hear that. So pray for yourself first and foremost. And I think the point of leveling up was not necessarily to get Russell Wilson, but to just become a better her. And I think that's what's missing. Like, we're looking at the reward, but leveling up means she did what she had to do to become a better her. And I think she got Russell Wilson because he was also praying for the type of woman that he wanted, and he found that in her. Now, I'm assuming if she hadn't have leveled up and did the work that needed to be done, maybe he wouldn't have found her. It could have been somebody else. I don't know. But I do know it's like it goes both ways. She had to do some work, and so did he. It just wasn't a prayer. It's like, boom, God, I need me a Russell Wilson. He's like, oh, okay, here you go. Like, if that was the case, boom, God, I need all my student loans cleared. He'd be like, oh, okay, Ty, here you go. Like, It doesn't work that way. So we have to put in the work to be our best selves. And I think that's what's missing. Nobody wants to put in the work to be their best selves. They want to just immediately have the reward and live happily ever after. And it just doesn't work that way. Like, put in some work. So I wrote down like putting in work. What does it mean, right? So one, again, in my little daily nuggets, I talk about your attitude, changing your attitude, that type of thing. Like, nobody wants someone who has a funky attitude all day, every day, sis. Like, nobody wants to be bothered with that. Change your attitude. And I feel like if a man wants to be with you and he wants to do for you and God has called him to do that, he will, and you won't have to beg and plead. If I got to ask and beg and plead, like, no, no, sir, that's not it. But again, I'm sure Russell Wilson did his part to become the man that he wanted to be so that he could get the woman that he wanted. So y'all, it's the work. Hello, you have to put in the work. Okay. All right. So other things I thought was like getting your finances in order. Do you live above your means? Do you try to keep up with all the new stuff? You're trying to keep up with the Joneses, as like the old people used to say. Do you try to do things like that? Like, if you're living above your means, why would you need like a Russell Wilson? I'm sure he's not like, oh yeah, you can just live above your means and live happily ever after. Like, no, you have to be responsible financially. Do you have debt? Okay, if you do, what are you doing about that debt? Are you trying to clear your debt, or are you just accruing more debt? Like, that's part of work too, not just attitude, but financially. Physically, are you taking care of yourself? Are we eating the best that we can? Not saying you got to be all vegan, vegetarian, keto, whatever. Just eating the best that you can. Are you taking care of yourself? Do you watch what you put in your mouth? Do you watch what you listen to? Watch the things that you read. Like, work goes into us. We have to work on ourselves so that we can get that reward that Russell Wilson. Like, if not, I guess we'll just be getting these futures. And those are trash. Like, that's not. Now, if you want that type of man, please go ahead. But as for me, I just want the man that God has for me. And so, like I said in my previous video, I'm just praying for God's will. Yes, I had a list somewhere in my room under a whole bunch of stuff I haven't looked at in years. But I'm not even worried about a list. I am literally just praying for God's will to be done. He knows what I need. He knows best anyway. So it's like, I don't need, for me personally, I don't need a list. And I definitely don't need somebody's exact prayer for a man, because again, Ciara is a whole different woman. I'm different from Ciara. You're different from Ciara. Everybody's different. So we won't need the same thing in a man. So just congratulate her. Boom, she got her man. But don't forget, you're missing the key points of leveling up. Leveling up means working and fixing on yourself, becoming whole and complete so that you can have that reward that, again, Russell Wilson, if that's what you want to call it. So then you can have that type of man. If you're just like, oh, sis, give me your exact prayer and then I'm just pray this and hope that I get, but you don't change anything about yourself, one, you're not even ready for that type of man or that type of relationship. Like, you haven't done anything. That's just like mistreating the man. So do your part, do your work, and I wholeheartedly believe like that will come around. That man will come around. And I'm going to keep working on myself because I know I deserve the best. And if I deserve the best, that means I have to be the best. So y'all, yes, level up and pray, but you ain't got to know the exact prayer, sis. Get your own prayer and you pray and you get you the man that you deserve. So y'all tell me what you think. Do you feel like you need her exact prayer so you can get your Russell Wilson? Or do you agree like you have to put in some type of work in order to get to that level of a relationship? Like, we never know what they go through behind closed doors. And it's definitely more than just money that cures things and solves things. So it's like, tell me what you guys think. Do you think like you need your own prayer life, or you just want her prayer so you can just go home, go ahead and pray and then just be done? So comment below. Tell me what you guys think. I would love to have a discussion with you. And don't forget to share Ties Nuggets. Share with everybody you know, even people you may not like. Like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back next week with another video. And don't remember to don't be dysfunctional. And if you are, pick yourself up and keep going, because there's life to live, and I'm gonna live it to the fullest. So until next week, I'll see you guys later. Bye.